Tech Heads back again. We get extra nerdy this week on you guys because we're talking about D3.js and how you can build beautiful graphs and charts with just a few lines of JavaScript. We also get hyped on the video games coming out this year, and we even talk about the Epic Games versus Apple case. This is Tech Heads.
4, 3, 2, 1. So, here we go.
How do you all feel tonight?
Tech Heads back again. What's going on, Anna?
Hey, not that much. Just another Saturday in Florida. Yeah, that's about it, pretty much. How about you?
Very nice. Yeah, all good over here. Super insanely nice day. Can't wait to actually go outside as soon as we're done. So, yeah,
Good.
It's been solid week. I recently was able to end a contract job that I had going on. So now I have my life back, and I'm so stoked. So can I get an applause for that?
Woohoo! Augie and I are doing the wave over here.
From East Coast to West Coast.
Yeah.
The biggest wave ever. Yeah, so I'm stoked. I have an extra 10 hours of free time every work week now, so more podcast prep time and better quality episodes and just being happier. So cheers to that.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, even because I think Friday morning was like my first morning where I was like, whoa, I could sleep until like 8:30 or 9 if I wanted to. But of course, I have a dog, so he doesn't like to sleep in past 6. So still waking up early. But I mean, I stayed up and I was like, I could read a book. I could prep for the podcast. I could play a video game. I got so much time to kill. So
Right.
it's been really nice. I'm living for it so far. I'm gonna take a little break, and then maybe find something else just for fun to do on the side, or maybe work on something that I've been wanting to work on. I've really been wanting to get this financial budgety app up and running a little better than I got it initially a few months back, because I kind of just gave up on it. But yeah, that's one of my big goals, I think, is to get that in order and, make it look a little cooler and make it work better. So, yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I am definitely getting a little busier with school, so I'm looking forward to the break I'll get, and then eventually, work on some work more on the podcast and brainstorm ideas, but also do a couple of projects that I've been wanting to do just for fun. But yeah, I mean, luckily I think both teams that I'm in now, because I'm only taking the 2 courses, they're pretty solid. So I think since good part of, I think there's just one person in one of the teams that is not graduating this semester, there's a lot of motivation for everybody to get it right and get it done, to move on and graduate. So I guess that's it lights up a fire, I think, under our butts, so we know that what's at stake. And then, after that, it's just going to be a nice little Christmas break, hopefully. And then, I don't know, plan things for 2022. I mean, I have a few things, but I want to sit down and, write some goals too. But nothing too solid yet. Just, brainstorming things to do next year.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I wrote goals at the beginning of this year, and I wrote more goals just a week ago, and I think it's always good to just have them in mind and remind yourself of the older ones, make new ones, because why wait till January 1st to make new goals? So
yeah, no, absolutely, that's so true. And we'll see how things are. I mean, I hope that I get to do some more fun travel next year as well. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping to see family, but also go, I don't know, to a nice tropical place, or I don't know, Europe. to, like do some sightseeing. We'll see what happens, but I'm definitely looking forward to taking advantage of like the time I'll have away from, school, because it's taken a lot of time and dedication, money. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, and on a completely like different just realm of discussion and conversation, did you see that there is a release date for Metroid Dread?
Oh my gosh. So recently, I think Sam told me that she saw something, because I kind of dropped the ball. I'm glad that I told her, because she keeps these things like in the back of her mind. So is it coming out this year or next year?
It says October 8th.
Oh my God. That's going to be awesome. And yeah, I haven't played a Metroid. Oh, actually, I got the Legacy Metroid. Yeah, she got the Legacy Metroid for me to play on the Switch for my birthday earlier this year. But to be honest, I haven't even touched my Switch in like a few months, because kind of forgot about it. But that's really cool. Are you going to get it when it comes out?
Yeah, I think so. Because the last one I played was Metroid Fusion, and that was the last one that came out, like 2002. And I think the one before that was Metroid
Prime.
What was it called? Something wasn't it something Mission Metroid Prime? Metroid.
I know
games.
I played Metroid Prime for GameCube, and that was like one of the early 2000s games.
Yeah, Zero Mission. That's right. Yeah, Metroid Zero Mission was the one I played, and then I played Fusion after that. And that was the last one that came out. So I'm pumped. Yeah, I see Metroid Prime here. That was you're right. The GameCube one. I wonder if this is only going to be Nintendo Switch. It's probably going to be only Nintendo Switch, right?
I guess, yeah. I wish they would come out with a 007 game for the Switch, like a GoldenEye refresh, or I don't know.
That is
That'd be
so
cool.
weird that you brought that up. I was watching gameplay of Nightfire yesterday.
Oh, good one. I loved that game.
Same.
That was so fun.
And this morning I was watching some, so that is so funny that you bring that up. What a
Love
random game. It's
Yeah,
like 20
right?
years old, right?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, because I think my cousin had it, and I don't know, I think we got it for him like back in 2002, 2003 or something like that. So it's been around for sure. But that would be so cool. I think that maybe it's just like licensing rights, and I think Amazon also just bought, like the rights to the 007 movies from MGM or something like that. At least there was some talk. I don't know if the deal, closed or whatever, but then I don't know how, all that works because of like branding and all that crap.
I could have answered this a while ago. I just remembered. The studio that makes Hitman is making a James Bond video game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did a teaser trailer. What is the company called? IO Interactive. That's what it is. Yeah, it's going to be called Project 007, I believe. It's the working title.
Yeah, there's some interest, like some cool games to come. I'm definitely gonna pick up the Metroid one. And then I think the open world, the Harry Potter PC game is also coming out next year. That's next year though, right?
So far, yeah. I'm definitely going to get that for PlayStation 5 as well.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to play the PC game. So I've been watching like budget builds, the only problem is the graphics card. Oh my gosh, like it's so hard to find like a decent one for, a reasonable price. They're so expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to talk to our buddy here, Jose, that lives in our complex, because he's built, I think, at least one PC so far, and I want to talk to him about, like components or whatever, because I told him, I was like, I'm not a hardcore gamer, but like if this Harry Potter game comes out, then I kind of wanted to have, like a PC for that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, do I need the latest and greatest graphics card? Probably not. So
Yeah, you're gonna have to do what I did to get my PS5. You're gonna have to be on like all these like you're gonna be following a bunch of Twitter accounts that'll notify you when they're back in stock, and you have
yeah.
to be in you have to be running servers to check stock. So that's because they were all in the same sort of hype realm, I guess, of looking for all that stuff. So yeah, it might be a little tough finding that as far as last time I checked, it's still really hard. Because I'm still unsubscribing from the emails, and they always include graphics cards in them too. So yeah, so good luck with that.
I know. Yeah, I think since we're driving up to New York for the end of the year holidays, or for Christmas at least, I was looking to see if there was like a Micro Center, or like these big like PC stores that we don't have anywhere here, like in the Orlando metro area. But I don't think it's going to be quite on our way. I mean, there was one in the Atlanta area that we might, I think, stop by at. Because I want to go to one of those stores because it looks so much different than Best Buy, and it's just
it's like Alien?
I don't know. I've never been to that, but
We went to the one in Vegas, remember? Or did we not go inside? I feel like we went inside.
I don't know. Did we? I don't remember.
It was right next to the In-N-Out.
Oh, okay.
Did we go in?
I don't think so,
Oh,
because
okay.
like Micro Center, and then there's like another chain that is pretty big. They sell just like PC components,
Oh,
so
got it.
that's where you can get lucky, depending on like time of day, if they have like new shipments and all that stuff. But I first need to like narrow down to which, maybe like one or two graphics cards I should be getting, and then really like look for, where I can find them to buy, because I don't want to be tempted to like go into a store and then like spend like $2,000 on a graphics card that I'll never really get the full potential out of,
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money. I mean, that's the price of a computer.
It's
So
nuts.
yeah, we'll see. But that, I think we'll end up checking out the store if it works out with our like trip plans. That'll be kind of fun. But I definitely want to build a PC. That's like one of my goals for next year for sure. I definitely want to like pull the trigger and just build one.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, especially when you
fun.
get your free time and you can actually... Because if you built it this year, you wouldn't have been able to really have too much fun with it, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it's been really busy. I really need to like wrap up school, and I haven't decided if I'm gonna go back to school anytime soon. I know that I'm not gonna pursue a master's or anything right after graduation. So I'll have probably until like summer of next year to decide if I'm gonna do something else. But to be honest, I really don't want to like rush that. I mean, after I finished the boot camp, it took me like a year until I started like, getting the prereqs classes that I needed even to apply to the computer science degree. So yeah, I want like a little bit of a break and, get like, I don't know, some more like motivation, because it's so much time, And I mean, I know that a master's also makes you look more attractive and everything like that, but I'm fine with the way that my career is lining up now, and I also want to like have the opportunity to, instead of just going back to school, to work on other venues like that are more like attractive than just schoolwork. I feel like this, I don't know. But to me, it kind of feels like this is like the last formal education degree that I'll ever get.
Good for you. You never know, but yeah. At
Yeah,
least,
right.
Yeah, take a little break and, yeah, like you said, explore other avenues and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Building a PC sounds more fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could take a class on that, but I'm just going to say it romantically. You can't take a class on experience.
Yeah. And you're learning something too. It's like valuable knowledge, I feel like. Because I could help someone else too eventually. If I had like a friend, or if Sam wanted one, I could build one for her. I don't know. It's just like, it's fun stuff, but it has a use, Unlike
Yeah.
like some classes, like I took linear algebra. I mean, probably never gonna use that in my life. So,
Nah, probably not. Jeez. Yeah, I don't remember any math at all. Like sometimes I'll see things, I'm like, oh, okay, like that looks a little familiar, but like I don't know. I
Right.
probably couldn't even do like the simplest thing.
Same. Yeah. I can't believe I took up to like Calc 3. I mean, don't even like get me started on like integrals and all that jazz, that's it's crazy that at one point I was able to do it and pass, but not anymore. It's been too long.
Oh heck no. That is one thing that's concerned me about potentially going back to school, because I mean I went up to Calc 3 as well, but I know there's more after that I would probably have to do depending on the program. And
Yeah.
like I mean I would hope there wouldn't be, but yeah, that would be brutal having to relearn and backtrack.
Yeah, I know that the gap between Calc 1 and Calc 2 for me was like 7 years. Because
Oh,
because
jeez.
I had taken Calc 1 in like
Those new
2011 or
rules.
something. I know,
7 years.
Good thing it's math. If it was any other class, they probably wouldn't even have given me the credit for it. Um, but yeah, I remember I still had like a stack of notes from the class that I took, so I reviewed that and I was watching YouTube videos and preparing, before Calc 2 even started, so I could feel like I was at least like in the loop, like the terminology and all that. And then yeah, it helped a bit, but I mean, Calc 2 kicked my butt. I feel like that was the hardest one with all the like, you know, uh, what were they called? Like, like derivative rule, like the different methods that you can
Yeah.
integrate and all.
Series.
And yeah, exactly.
That was
Yeah.
a big part
All
of
that
it.
Taylor series and all that crap.
Yeah.
And yeah, Calc 3 wasn't as bad. I mean, there was some work, but luckily when I took Calc 2 and Calc 3, I took those were the only classes I was taking, and I had to take them, in like sequential semesters. So I couldn't take them at the same time, but that was a good thing because honestly, that would have sucked to take them both at the same time. And I don't think that schools really allow that. But yeah, no, I'm sure that you like it's just gonna be a bit like riding a bike. You might have to prep for like a few weeks before you start the class. Like if you have to take differential equations, which my program doesn't really call for that, but I think that there are
Oh, that's
some degrees
nice.
that do, or other schools that do. So
Yeah.
it's
Riddle
gonna
was one of
be
them.
okay, but
DPQ.
did you take it or no?
No, I did not. I never made it. I think DiffyQ is at Riddle. I think it was a co-rec with Calc 3. I don't know if it was I don't know if you needed Calc 3 to do DiffyQ, but usually people did it after Calc 3. But I don't know, because I was doing Calc 3, and then I was doing another Calc 3 class with probability and stat. So,
Oh, okay.
and then my Physics 2 class, we were also using Calc 3, so it was just a lot of Calc 3 one semester. And
Oh, man.
yeah, pretty rough, but I made it through, so.
Good for you. Yeah, physics. That was an interesting class. I like taking physics, but it was hard.
So hard. Like, I don't give a shit about your springs.
I know. It really that was the part that sucked. I was like, can we like study anything else? Like let's talk about maybe rockets or something that's at least more interesting. But I guess
Gravity was
not.
cool.
Yeah, no, that was. And then I think I also took organic chemistry, 1 and 2, because that's when I was still like I needed those classes for my biotech degree. So I had to take Orgo 1 and 2 and then biochem. And oh my gosh, like biochem was just everything you can think of. And we had to like remember like the full like path of like a molecule, if you're mixing with reagents
Jesus
and all
Christ.
that stuff. And I remember that there was like one exam that we had to write or draw, like the DNA base pairs, AT and CG. And man, I practiced that crap. Like I just drew that thing like 20 times to make sure that I had every single thing exactly right. And yeah, I did I think I got like a B in that class, but I was pretty surprised because I thought I was not going to pass. The professor was nice, but that class was a bitch.
Sounds like. Oh, let me go outside real quick. Something's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. Sorry, nothing really going on. Just wanted to double check. We had a crazy incident that happened last week. I don't want to talk too deeply about it on the episode, but I'll tell you about it later. And it was just like, whoa,
Oh,
crazy
goodness
things are
gracious.
happening in the world. Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyway, on another note,
Right.
we're
Let's
talking
do
about
it.
something pretty tight today. Anna, can you tell us what we're talking about?
We're going to be covering the D3 JavaScript library.
That's right, D3. Do you know what D3 stands for?
Oh, no. I didn't look into that. What is it? I would say data something.
Yes, data. Try.
Data try.
No, I'm
Three?
no. So
D3.
sorry. No, that was awkward. But data-driven documents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say for our, data viz aficionados, this is a cool library to learn. But okay, that makes sense. Data driven. What is it? Documents? Yeah. Okay. Cool. That makes sense.
Yeah. D3. Oh, can you tell us how you heard about it first? Because you brought it up. You wanted to do this episode, so.
Yeah, so I think I came across D3 a few times like on YouTube tutorials, but then like a couple years ago, I was obviously like with data science taken off, like there are tons of libraries out there. D3 is a really popular one. And the first time I think I came across it was actually either through YouTube tutorials or in videos or probably the data science subreddit, because a really popular chart that I've seen on there is called, let me see what that puppy's called. I can't remember what the name was now, but it's really, really cool because it's like a globe and, it has like kind of like strings connecting each of the values around the circle. And yeah, it just looks beautiful. So, like if you're looking for a way to have, like a data driven web page, of some sort, which, there's a purpose for it, I think, in every kind of industry that you're in. D3 is very suitable for that. So it's well worth like looking into and getting familiar with it.
Absolutely. I have actually never used it until you wanted to do this episode. I had to do all the research on it for my talking points, and I was super duper impressed at what it can do. Because I don't know, it looked like kind of old and janky, and I don't know. I was a little skeptical, I'll admit, because I know there's other ways to do modeling and charts and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, another one, whatever.
Yeah, it's been around for about 10 years now. Looks like the first initial release was back in 2011. So, it has some predecessors because apparently, obviously, before all these JavaScript libraries came out, with like the sudden need, or the sudden like resurgence of data science. It was, other platform or other libraries and engines that are, per se that were used to render data as, visualization in web browsers. But the cool thing about D3 is that, it uses SVG, HTML, and CSS. And yeah, it's been, I think that in the data science realm now, it's pretty widely known, along with a couple of other, related libraries. But today we're going to focus on this one.
Yeah, I think the key thing with maybe us explaining D3 to people who don't know what D3 is that it manipulates documents based on data, but like the based on data is the big thing to emphasize, because like yes, it can manipulate other things, like you said, like just SVGs and HTML elements and whatnot, but the power of D3 really comes into play when you bind data from like an external source to the code you're writing, and that's where really cool things happen. So yeah, the way it works, it sounds like an awful lot like jQuery, using the selector method for grabbing, your HTML elements and whatnot. And I think that's what it was. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is jQuery in data form. I don't like this. But I was like, yeah, this is just as old as jQuery, and it looks like an older version of Chart.js, like you mentioned a previous episode. Yeah. And, Chart.js is great in everything when it comes to rendering charts, hence the name. But D3, honestly, it takes it to another level in that you aren't limited to just making charts, because you can render text, you can render graphs, maps, numbers, shapes, like literally anything you want. Yeah. So I know that it was created by a couple guys in Stanford, of course, some smart people, back in 2011. But I thought it was really cool because the main dude who wrote it, he's still updating and maintaining it on GitHub.
Oh, he's still a core contributor. That's cool.
Yeah, which is pretty tight. Like, he's passionate about it. He's always adding things, apparently. So, yeah. And it's easy to kind of just get started with it, because you can literally just link it in your HTML in the head and just get right to using it. I think the best way would probably be to download it from GitHub. But, if you're just like, oh, what is this? How does this work? Just, like, link it and play around with, all the different selectors. So I think the best way to see, like, all the different possibilities for yourself, besides just going to the docs, is to console log D3 once you've linked it in your HTML file, because then...
That's what I did.
You could exactly. You could see all the helper methods and useful functionalities that it has to offer.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And I think the biggest one is select.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So there is what is it? I think that they're called like a central principle of D3 is like selection. So, if you do like D3 dot, and then let's say you want to select all the P tags on the page, you would just use the function select all with, double quotes and then P, and it will look for all of the P tags in that page that you have in your index.html or the DOM. And then you can, alterate that. And then that's where you're going to like alter the style and the other attributes of that particular element. So, all of that you can do, like Victor said, with linking it. You can use the CDN. I think as far as I know, you can also like npm install D3.
I didn't even think about that, but you can.
And I'm pretty sure. And then you also, can clone the repo. So I think I tried I used the CDN yesterday when I was testing out, like when I just did the console log to look at the object. And it's pretty easy, like super, plug and play. And then obviously their documentation is really good. And the cool thing, if you go to like the official D3 website, is that they have some examples of people that have, taken it to a whole other level. Like with the visualization, they've rendered like a US map of, with all like different shades based on the data that they're trying to display. and you can follow through with all of the steps that they use, like the actual code to understand how they got to, from beginning to end. So I think that that's pretty cool because, they show like an applicable way of how their library has been used before.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I think I saw somebody in very, very little code. They rendered a map of the U.S. and then they binded U.S. median household income, I think. They binded that data and then had like the different shades of green. Like they defined the different shades of green for the category. So like 40 to 50, 50 to 60. Yeah. And then like a few lines of just like importing the geo module from somewhere else. It was like outside of D3, but because another crazy cool thing with D3 is that like it welcomes a bunch of other libraries, and there's like a ton that are compatible with it. So you can just like import a map of strictly the US if you want. And basically parsed through a CSV file and selected a specific column, which was state, and just looked at each median income and was able to just make a map. And like she did it so fast. I was like, that's crazy. I couldn't even do that in like, I don't know,
hours. That'll probably be me.
Yeah, it would be like, whoa, what? So it was really cool seeing that. I can kind of go through a pretty basic example of how it works because I can explain it a little better than the map example, for instance, because it was kind of like, whoa, that happened so fast. So let's say you called D3 select with, and you're selecting a div. So it would be D3 select, and then in the parentheses, that's what they're called, parentheses. Inside the parentheses would be just div, whatever, if you just have one div, let's say. So here you're pointing to a pre-existing div that is in your HTML file, and then let's say you did a select all p. So inside of that function, where this refers to a paragraph tag, but it doesn't not exist yet. So the div exists, but the p does not. So there's no paragraph tags currently. Well, this gives us the power to bind elements that don't exist yet, such as the paragraph tags. So bind them to data so that those elements are automatically generated when the data is there. So this happens when we call enter, and enter is a really crucial step in D3. We call enter on our data, which essentially takes the difference between a number of elements, in this case, paragraph elements, and the data provided. And the data provided in this instance could just be an array of like numbers, so 1, 2, and 3. So if there's no paragraph tags, but there's an array of 1, 2, and 3, then there will be 3 paragraph tags that are created, because this reads that there are 3 missing paragraph tags, essentially. It's a little like kind of backwards. Like, I don't know how you might structure something like that in normal JavaScript maybe. But like once you do it the first time, I think it does kind of like make sense in its own right. So then on the append selector, that will actually append or add, for people who don't know what append means, a new p tag to that div for every missing one. And yeah, like it sounds hella confusing, but the big takeaway is that D3 is all about binding data to elements and then rendering them on the page per the requirements that the developer wrote.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think like the big plus from using a library like this one is that it's very dynamic, so it's not like you have to have your like a full HTML file with every single element that you could possibly imagine that you may need to like actually see anything on the page. But that's the cool thing, like it renders the elements for you, and that's because your data can be like you might want it to be flexible, like your the data feed that you're getting. Sometimes you might want to display certain data, in like a region of the page, and then other times you don't. So it could also depend on like the state, like the user that you have signed in. So I think that this one is really cool. I think it kind of reminds me that when I started, I still have like that ongoing project that I started with Vue for using the Formula One API. But I think one idea that I had was to map out all of the circuits on the world map. And I think that's where D3 kind of, came back into my mind. And I was like, ooh, I could probably try and use that, because I have like the object from the API, that shows me like every single circuit country and maybe even like the city or whatever, or the coordinates. So it could be very specific. And then I could, I could render that on the map, and then maybe have like a little, like a hover over tooltip, that would show like, depending on the drop down, if you select for like 2020, it would show like the winner, like, maybe like the first few places or something like that. So yeah, it's still like a couple of ideas, and I think that would be like a very cool way to apply D3.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm trying to I could maybe, if I want to actually pursue my financial little budget appy thing. I mean, I think this would be a perfect use case for it, because why not? You got to have charts to show how much money you're spending on your coffee and shit. So that'd be the most helpful thing. Yeah, I actually might. Yeah, I might play around with it a little more and see what I can do with it. And maybe chart.js too. Who knows? I would probably opt for D3 just for the examples I've seen. They are really amazing. So I would like to maybe do something like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, analytics, that's pretty much where it's at. I tried to find like some, I don't know if you came across, but like some, big or well-known companies or, like businesses out there that use D3 as, like their visualization libraries, because sometimes it's also hard to find what stack they're using or, what their infrastructure is. But if you did, I'm sure that there are like some big, enterprises out there that do use it.
That reminds me. No, I didn't look into who uses D3, but I just came across, this isn't my recommendation, by the way. This was actually going to be my last week's recommendation, but I forgot to write it down, so I forgot about it. But I think it's called StackShare. Let me just double check. Basically, you can search any company, and I even searched my company, and it's like, whoa, they're right. You can search any company, and it'll tell you what they use, like what their stack is.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, so let me just do, I don't know if, Google, it's a big company. I hope they would come up. So let's see. And it's free. You just go to stackshare.io. Let's see. So if I go to Google, then I go to tools. Obviously, they're using everything in-house. Google Analytics, Google Drive, Google Fonts, Google Tag Manager, literally every single Google Cloud SQL, Google Ads. Yeah, so that makes sense. Let me do...
I actually just Googled it, and then StackShare is what it was the first result. Because I just Googled D3.js and companies used by, and it looks, some big ones use D3. Coinbase, Accenture, Clubhouse, Coursera, Square.
But that's not my recommendation. Don't get it twisted.
No, I was going to say... I do recommend it, though. Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I was going to say, I know that we've had quite and not to steer too much away from the topic, but I know that we've talked about like job search and all the hunting and all that stuff. And this is like a cool way to dig a little deeper into like companies and stuff like that. So you can kind of like discuss these things, at an interview, because maybe you can just ask for confirmation. Oh, I saw that, you guys use these tools. I have experience with that, so that'd be kind of cool.
Very smart. And no, don't apologize for steering away, because I think we can move on to bigger and better things and talk about other fun things. So
yeah,
so don't apologize. I definitely would recommend everybody do that, actually. I had never heard of this until recently, so I've never done it before, but oh my goodness, yeah. Definitely the smart thing to do.
Yeah, I think, it just shows that you're going to be prepared. I mean, we don't know like how reliable this is, but it's probably not too unreliable. So, like I said, you can also like even during like a phone screen for a job that you applied, if, like you see what tools the company is using, you can ask like the recruiter, like, do you know what the specifics are, like the stack? Do you guys still use D3? Do you use, I don't know, React or whatever, like things like that. And then it kind of helps you for, like that whole, interview journey. So you know what to focus on and what to kind of like polish up your, interview skills with, because you're going to have to get specific. But it's kind of, I think it's like an advantage knowing beforehand, because I'll be honest, like I've had interviews with recruiters, and like recently I think I talked to someone that I was just she was very new at the job. And when I asked what the stack was, she was like, oh, I'll be honest with you, I just started my job a few days ago. I can answer that question, but I'll get back to you. And then I think eventually I did some, digging on my own, because she didn't get back to me. And then I found out what the stack was on my own, because, I just like went through their website. I found some other job descriptions, and that were, more specific to like that kind of like the area, or like the full stack field and whatever. So yeah, it's, it kind of helps to be a bit resourceful. I think that this is like a good tool to have on your back pocket when you're, like actively searching and stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, everybody go check out D3. I think we're good to move on to like news and stuff.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So you may have heard about it, because I think the ruling happened yesterday. But did you hear that the Apple v. Epic case?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that. Let's first maybe you can explain it a little bit.
So I mean, I know like a very superficial knowledge, but I think that the conflict really started because Epic, the developers of Fortnite, they were accusing Apple of being a conglomerate. But I think that the main thing was the fact that they I don't know if it was just, I don't think it was just isolated to Fortnite or other apps that they developed. Once you make them available on the App Store, Apple obviously takes a pay cut of the of the subscription service that, or like the app price that you pay. Like when you buy any app, the developer is actually they have to pay Apple, like a certain percentage of that. So as far as I know, yeah, that's what Epic Games had, a big issue with. But apparently with the ruling, they at the jury or whatever, the verdict was that, Apple should allow developers to reroute the user to an exterior, like a browser page, where you can then essentially submit your transaction through that. But with that, obviously, it incurs a lot of, I think a lot of responsibility on the developer. But I mean, if Epic Games wanted that option, I think that they can consider it a total loss. But I'm not really sure, how, if it's a win for Apple. I mean, from what I read, it is. But I'm not. I think that, is it because they're just not going to have to pay a fine, or?
Well, so funny things happen. So the beef started when Epic breached contract with Apple and decided to implement a method of payment that's outside of Apple's realm, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So Apple found out, obviously, and they just came to an agreement, Epic is going to have to pay 30% of what they made ever since they made those changes. So they made $11.5 million, so it's going to be $3.5 million that they have to pay, because that's that it's fair, I guess. But yeah, it is hard to say who it's a win for. Apple thinks it's a win for them, because they do want, the guy representing Apple said, they want to be as fair as possible, and allow people to allow developers, I mean, to include any of their own metadata, buttons or external links or other calls to action that might direct customers to purchasing mechanisms that are beyond those offered by Apple. So like they're like, it seems like they're open to it because it's, I guess they just were kind of waiting to be pressure pointed into doing something a little more fair. But it seems like they're accepting like, okay, this is for the better. So yeah,
Right.
I don't know. I think it's good because now we're not confined to just Apple as far as payment processing and purchasing mechanisms. So yeah, I think it's not a total loss for Apple, but I think it's a win for Epic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I mean, I figured that that's probably what they wanted, right? Like, is to circumvent the one and only way that Apple allowed you to have, paid apps on the App Store. Like, you just always have to pay them a cut, which I mean, I get if they breach their contract. I mean, a contract is a contract, so obviously this is how it was going to end up with a lawsuit. But yeah, I mean, I think that it probably sets like a good precedent. I mean, it's so hard too because we're so restricted to like either the Google Play Store or the App Store to like get any apps. So I mean, it's like it's tough. I love having my Apple devices, but it's just like you're super restricted to, or they do everything in their power to like retain you in their ecosystem. They don't want you to go anywhere else. And obviously I feel like that's, the developer doesn't like shouldn't pay for that. And I don't mean financially, but it's like so hard to get your app out there unless you're willing to agree to everything that the distributor, which is Apple, to like if you're willing to agree with their terms. So it's kind of tough because, like I think it kind of came down to Apple has no competition because they can crush their competition. They can acquire their competition, so yeah, it's one of those things where, like you said, I don't think that it's like a lose-lose situation for either. But I don't know. I guess they settled. I don't know. I read some articles that said, "Oh, Apple like won," but I don't know if that's like really the case.
Yeah. Well, let's just put it out there. Like the judge ruled in favor of Epic. But yeah, it's like it is a gray area as far as like what all of this means in the end. So yeah, right. I don't know. You guys can tell us what you think. You can email us, tweet us, leave us reviews, comments, all that stuff, talking about it. So let us know in the comment section what you think.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. What's your recommendation?
Oh, okay. So brace yourself for this one.
Okay.
I was really bored the other night and I ended up watching some YouTube videos about keyboard reviews because I know that we've talked about the Keychron. You have a Keychron, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh man, I mean, even if I don't get it, I just love watching videos about desk setups and, PC ancillaries and all that. So I came across this one. And it's like a keyboard by Owlab. I don't know if you've heard, but it's the Jelly Epoch. I think the Epoch is just like the not the trim, but like the model because of like the colorway. But those things are so exclusive that I could only find one on eBay for like $1,200.
Wait, what is the company called again?
Owlab. Just Google Jelly Epoch, EPOCH, and you'll see. Like you can't find it because I think it's I don't know if it's like one of those like crowd-funded companies, so like they only release in batches and they've ran out. But then obviously you have people reselling them on eBay and like I saw even on Reddit for like $1,200, and I was like, that is insane.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's
but
beautiful, though.
Yeah, I watched the video of the guy assembling it, and I think he selected the one that was kind of like a burgundy or like a dark, red or like wine colored or dark burgundy color. And the clicks, oh my gosh, it just sounded like, PC porn. It's just so good. So even though I'm not even like that big into mechanical keyboards, that one just like if I could afford it, I would probably get it. But that one looks so nice. I would love to try it out. But then I know that like Keychron is way more accessible. So maybe I'll go that route. I want to do a little more research because eventually I'm going to be like refreshing my whole setup. Like my laptop is, going to be like my, I don't know, like a secondary device eventually. And I also want to build a PC. So I think a brand new keyboard would be cool to go with that.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of thinking about doing a Mac Mini.
Ooh, good idea. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, like keep my laptop obviously and use it when I need to be mobile, I guess. But I think a nice like M1 Mac Mini would be so tight, and it would kind of free up this part of my desk, so I wouldn't have my laptop out, just hide it under the monitor or whatever. And I don't need 3 screens. I don't even look at this one unless we're talking. So
yeah. Yeah, I definitely wanted to get like a 30, is it 38 or 39 inch ultra wide monitor? Because the one that I have right now is 34 inches, but it's not ultra wide, so it's just a big screen, and I like it a lot. But I think
so big. Oh my god!
I know it's big, right?
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm still like really torn on what I want to get. But I want to focus on like the computer. And to be honest with you, I've looked into the Mac Mini too because I think it's like a good investment. And I was even contemplating getting it for like the living room so I can use my TV as a computer and just forget about Wi-Fi. I can like hardwire the Ethernet cable into the Mac Mini and use that for games, surfing, but then I would have to put like a keyboard out there and like, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I mean, yeah, I think I would probably just get like a keyboard that has the mouse, like the trackpad in like right on it, so it's super easy to like navigate and you can type everything. And essentially the TV would be just like a big computer monitor, So yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked. I really like having a laptop though. I feel like that, it's really useful to like take it with you everywhere. So
Definitely.
maybe one day, because I've never had a Mac Mini, but it looks fun. I definitely want to pick up a new laptop. I think once it comes out, the Apple event should be happening in a few days. I think it's the 14th. So I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they put out too. Yeah, well, my recommendation is it's funny. I found it on Twitter from this developer I follow, but really handy. So I've had the same profile picture for like professional things for a long time. Like, it's probably been 6 years. Like, it's an old picture. And just thought it was like time to do a little refresh. So I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I don't have a cool background, or like I don't have a white background other than the wall. It's just gonna look janky. What do I do? So of course I'm on Twitter and I see this guy tweeted in a thread of like cool developer tools. He tweeted this thing called Profilepicturemaker.com, PFPmaker.com technically, but it's called Profilepicturemaker. All you have to do is upload a picture. I just uploaded a selfie, which this took a while because I was like, I hate my face, so we'll just pick a random one.
So good though.
So it just like there's even like let's see, like they get rid of it completely. They add all those things. You can change the exact color. So I picked one of the colors from my portfolio site, and I made this the background for me here. So then on my website here, I'm right here, and now I match the pink here in my background.
Oh, cool.
But then on GitHub, I'm like the city background, but it's the same picture. So it's
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty nifty. I highly recommend it if you're looking for like some way to make your profile picture pop a little more. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And on that note, I got my portfolio site back.
Oh, that's awesome.
Back in business. Yeah, I have no idea what happened. I'm like not really educated in ethical hacking, so I'm not too sure. But I think the trouble was with I had a contact form on there. I think something happened where somebody like put in a script in the form, and then maybe I got a notification in the email that like somebody contacted me, but it was probably like an invasive script of some kind. I don't know. So anyway, I got the website back, and I actually had to talk to GoDaddy because somebody actually took my domain name for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
And now it's back up and running. I can put the episodes up on there. People can go check it out. And so I might completely redo the site sometime in the near future. So get it while it's hot.
Yeah, I bought like a couple of domain names earlier this year. So like my portfolio, although it still says under construction, it has my social links on there so people can find me. But I'm using osik.tech now instead of aosik.com. I like that domain. I'm gonna keep it for a while. I got
like
it.
that a lot.
That's cool, right? I think I got it with it was with Namecheap because that's where that's who I've used for the last couple of years, and they had a deal for like student discounts, and I think I got that one for like $1 for the whole year.
Whoa, that's really good.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. I got that one, and I think I also got osik.io. They had a couple, like a selection of domain, names that you could get for that price. So I was like, yeah, for sure. I mean, I ended up paying like $2, and it was super, super cheap. So
there you go. What is your what is your favicon?
It's supposed to be 2 A's, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
I found that somewhere on Google. I can't even take credit for it. I didn't make it, so I'm sorry, whoever I stole this from.
Damn.
Oopsie.
Exposed just like that. Yeah,
right.
That's really cool. I mean, don't sweat it, because that's basically the Watch Dogs logo too. So that guy's stealing too. So I don't know if you're double stealing or if it's canceled out.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. You never know, if they were the OGs, but I remember I just Googled like AA and then went to the images tab, and like that was one of the images that I found. So I was like, okay, sure, sounds great.
Yeah. Do you think that's somebody's cool logo for their Alcoholics Anonymous group?
It could be, right?
People go to your site expecting it to be Alcoholics Anonymous.
And they're like, damn it! What the hell? Oh my god. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's awesome to like look for, like try and get creative with your domain names too. There's so many out there. I think I have osik.tech, aosik.com, osik.me, or io. I can't remember which one. But I try to get like a few just in case I get tired. And since these were really cheap, I'm still, trying to like milk that student discount, because I don't know how long my email is going to be good for after I'm done with school. So might as well.
Yeah. Well, I think my dog really needs to go. He keeps farting up a storm right now. So it smells like ass right now in here.
Oh my god.
So I think it's time to hop off.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you liked D3.
Yeah. Share your D3 projects with us and email them to us. Put them on GitHub. Like, leave us reviews. Talk to us, please. Tech heads out. See you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.